If you text your group chat right now and you said, "Hey, let's go for a run to the park at any given moment," they'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'm down. Cool, let's go. Like right now, for sure." I mean, I'm obviously not saying you should drop all your plans, but they'd be down to go, right? Nah, chances are they're not gonna be. They're gonna end up like this group chat right here. Happy birthday, thank you, happy birthday. Oh, I didn't know it was your birthday, or they'll, I don't know, keep you on read or text you 2 weeks later, right? Group chat is just like that. At least for guys, a lot of the time that's how it is. But what I want you to be encouraged to do is to be risky and be adventurous. Be that one friend in the group that suggests to go out and do something, that suggests something that everyone might want to do. Be the person that, everyone might think it's cringe, like, oh, this guy, what is he doing? Just suggesting stuff and not texting every 1 or 2 weeks or making plans and stuff like that and following through. Like, we should be encouraging this, and yet, in our generation, a lot of people stray away from literally saying like the slightest thing into a group chat or making it active. Like we kind of have this social paralysis where it's like, what we say online and stuff like that sticks, but we're kind of afraid to do anything as a result because we don't know the consequences or we don't want to be seen as cringe. But honestly, I don't really give a shit. You can ask anybody that I kind of talk to or been in group chats with. I will always say something. I will always keep it active. I will be the person that will suggest things to do. I will put and band everyone together, and I've done this a lot because I think it's important, that people hang out and that people are risky and adventurous. I mean, that's like another separate social thing, but being adventurous is kind of just being down to do whatever. So the first thing I want to encourage you is to stop waiting. Don't wait for your friends to say, let's do this. Think of something to do. Let's go do it. Let's go fucking travel. I don't know. Let's go to Antarctica. Let's go to Iceland. I don't know. Whatever it may be. Think of something and ask people, hey, are you guys down to do this? If not, okay, cool, whatever. At least you said something and they responded. That's another thing. You gotta get people to respond. But stop waiting to at least even for yourself or other people. Like, do it for yourself. Do it right now, right? Say yes before you even feel ready, right? You want to be able to do this at a young age because you have such low risk. Like literally when you are young like this, you have no big responsibilities. You have really no big bills. You have a lot you don't really have a lot to lose sort of thing. And like you hear this growing up, but you kind of don't realize it, until it's put into perspective with you that you don't have all of these big responsibilities that you will a couple decades or years down the line, right? So don't wait for your friends and start saying yes to different things that or opportunities that might come to you. And I think that's one of the best things that I ever did is, I said yes to going to these conferences or something. I said yes to going on a road trip with people I never met before. I said yes to go, I don't know, jumping off one of those cliffs into like one of those water holes and stuff. I was scared as shit, but I said, okay, whatever, I'm doing it, right? I would say be safe with the things that you're going to do. But in general, I think like you will find later in life that you will probably regret more inaction more than action over time, right? The things that you didn't do, you're probably going to think back about it and be like, shit, I really should have done that, right? And yeah, you hear a lot of older people say like traveling is one of the things that they regret most, or not investing early enough is one of the things because time is a really important asset. But another thing is, even if you do it for yourself, you want to usually have other people with you if you can. I think it's like part of the experience, right? But be the first mover, be the first person to like say or suggest something. You don't want to like a chat kind of like this, right? Whatever this is supposed to be. Like what is this? Happy birthday. Thank you. You know, next couple of months. Happy birthday. It's not even his birthday. Like they don't know what's going on. Like nobody knows what's going on. They're kind of just suggesting and saying stuff to keep it alive. Maybe they want to, I don't know, do something with you at future date. Probably not. So be the first person to suggest something and make it be known. Don't exclude people, hide all of these details, only be buddy buddy with some people. Like try to be friends with everyone, right? And there's going to be some people that you don't like and that's fine. You don't have to be friends with them. But don't make enemies, right? There's no reason to make enemies. There's not really like doesn't benefit anyone, right? So surround yourself with people who are going to try to do that same sort of first mover mentality and take those risks and be adventurous and go out and do things, because it'll definitely just widen your perspective about how the world actually works. Like, let's say I don't know, you are from Canada and you've never been outside of Canada, and you go to Europe for the first time, and you realize, oh my God, they have all these different languages, lots of different architecture, there's some tipping there, there's not tipping there. There's like all these sort of like niche and nuanced things, and I think that's important to learn and know because everyone's from different parts of the world. You're not gonna always be stuck in the same town, or at least I hope not for the rest of your life, right? Um, and yeah, I think it just makes you a more well-rounded and better person. and I think traveling is like a good example of that. So, what the hell is going on with Gen Z then? Because we're kind of split 50-50, whereas I feel like um, I guess boomers in this sense are a lot more conservative, but if they did take the risk, it paid off really well for them, right? But I'm not really talking about like investing or anything like that. I'm kind of more talking about why the hell is Gen Z, given all of the opportunity that we have in advancements in technology, particularly, why the hell are we not doing, more? Or why is there not enough people, having this mentality that they should be doing more and taking a lot more risk? Well, because people are ignorant, and even though people have the information, the skills, and they have low risk, and they understand what's possible, we kind of get this paralysis that, you know, what, you know, all these other people are doing it. Okay, that's cool, but why am I the one that has to do it? Why can't I just chill out and stuff? And it's kind of like a mental game. It's whether or not you want to use all the information, skills, and low risk that you have at your disposal and improve your life in some sort of way. And that really just comes down to having the tolerance and I guess like situation that you're put into, or putting yourself into a situation where you can just overcome that mental battle and just say, what's possible? What are the goals? What can I do? And that's like basically trying to be as most risk adverse as possible and being the most adventurous person as possible is by taking all of the stuff that you have as like somebody who's in Gen Z, um, and doing something with it, right? And that's truly being adventurous. For instance, okay, let me give you an example of like info skills and low risk. I have the information that a friend gave me. A flight is super cheap. I have, I don't know, the basic computer searching skills. I can go online. I couldn't go online back in the day and buy a flight with my money that I worked for from this summer. And it's probably maybe like a 16th of what I worked for and I got this summer. I have low risk because I don't know, I don't have classes, or maybe we're on spring break, or I don't have a lot of bills, so I can spend that $300 and I can take time off because I just finished my summer job and I don't have work. Cool. That's what's possible. I have the freedom and ability to go and book that flight and not look back and see any of the consequences. I'm only looking forward right now. We'll deal with that when that comes around when I come back, right? And obviously you should be risk adverse and try to put yourself in the best situation. I'm not saying if you can barely pay rent, right, should go and book a flight. I mean, that's just nonsense. But I'm saying put yourself in a situation where you have such low risk that it doesn't matter what you do the next day or the day after, because when you come back, you can always fix it. Set yourself up for success, right? It's all a mental game at the end of the day. And that's another thing I want to get to. Stop making excuses, man. Like I don't care. Like all these people in college, right? I say college because I've done a lot of the things that I set out to do my freshman year, and I'm graduating now, and I don't really have any regrets. I definitely said everything that I was going to do in freshman year. I did, and I finished all 4 years doing everything that I wanted to. Right? There's some people they say I don't have the money. I'm too busy with all these other stuff. Any person who has had a goal, no matter what obstacles have been put in front of them, they have always overcome it in some sort of way, and they are the top tier examples in society. For example, I gave this example a long time ago. LeBron James. LeBron James came from nothing in Akron, Ohio. His family was extremely poor. He grew up in federal, public subsidized housing. But his family supported him in the way that he was really gifted at basketball. He always continued to play basketball. But one day, I don't know, he was also injured. He had all these other issues, and even though he was in a really bad situation, he never gave up and he continued to move forward. So even though he didn't have the money, he was still in school. He was always trying to keep himself preoccupied with basketball, right? These are the things that you need to think about when you say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, or some sort of thing. If you want to do it, you will find the money. You will work to get the money. You will always have the time. You will make time for it because that's what you believe in. And if you don't, then it's not truly important to you. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I put Epstein here. But yeah, he's like, listen, kid, I don't have much time. He's like, bro, you have a lot of time. If you're not in this guy's situation, you have a lot of time to act, right? If you're like in your 20s or even younger, I saw, in my analytics recently, like there's people that are under 18 or just turning 18 and they're wanting to get ahead. Congrats on you guys. You guys are super ahead. You guys are very much like how I was. When I was like 17, I was thinking about how I could invest. When I was 17, I was thinking about, what college, what college I was going to go to. I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my future. I was thinking about, do I become a YouTuber? What is the next big thing, right? Um, and I still had a pretty good childhood, I think. So there's always time to act, right? And the whole risk thing is pretty straightforward. It's mostly about being adventurous and actually doing stuff, right? Small risk over time has a really big payout. If I have the ability to take a lot of risk right now, let's say let's give a few examples. One that, I was able to travel the world or something like that. I had the flexibility to leave my home and go do an internship somewhere else. I had the ability to go to a conference and meet people who were super successful, and I learned a lot, of knowledge, or learned a lot of different things about the field that I want to go into. I don't know. I did something spiritually, whatever it may be. Like all those risks that, you think of them not really as risk, but they are more of investments in yourself that have some sort of risk that takes time away from other things that might be as important. For example, if I skip class, I am using time and effort to go to, I don't know, an event or something, but I'm taking away my study time, right? The risk is that I'm losing a lot of my study time and importance from the money that I'm paying for classes, but I'm increasing my knowledge in another area that I'm willing to take that risk that I fail an exam or something like that to go meet people, right? And so that's kind of like the small risk over time has a big payout in an area that you think is really important. So like example of like bigger risk, I guess, is like quitting a job, going like asking somebody out on a date or going out with them somewhere, moving to a new city. When you're from a home city and you go somewhere where you don't know anybody, that's kind of like really hard. Um, I was watching a lot of interviews, and the older you will thank you for a lot of these risks that you take because they will pay out. Whatever the outcome may be, I'm sure it will be beneficial in some sort of way if you take a risk, and it's all good. So yeah, shorter video today. That's just what I want to talk about. Risk, being adventurous, being the friend that actually talks and does something. So yeah, bye bye.